It is time for your weekly breakdown on the latest in entertainment, sports, pop culture, and all things Milwaukee. This is Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. Now streaming on 1017 The Truth YouTube with the witty banter, latest trends on social media, and hottest celebrity topics, here is Melanie Ricks.
What's up, y'all? Hello. Welcome to Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. My name is Mel. Back in the stew. It feels good to be back in the studio. And yes, we are cooking up. Shout out to @the Jason Smith on Instagram. Jason Smith in real life. How you doing, Jay?
Listen, we are here. Come on now. We back in studio, so I'm a little bit more hyped than normal because we back in studio.
Oh, I'm so excited to be back with you. Also, it's the first day of Black History Month, so happy Black History Month to everyone out there, whether or not you celebrate what you should celebrate. But it's
Hold
February
on, there
1st.
should be no reason people not celebrating Black History Month. Are you kidding me?
But what does it mean to celebrate it?
I don't know.
Acknowledge it, learn something, throw a party. There's a lot of different ways.
It's a lot of different ways. Come on now. We got social media. At least make a post.
Facts.
On your story.
Facts. I agree. I couldn't agree more. Go get some barbecue, something. You know what I mean? Drink some Hennessy.
Celebrate or purchase something from a Black business.
There we go.
You feel me?
See, Jason has the real things that you should do. I'm telling him to go drink Hennessy. But I will tell you, this is not random. So do you know tomorrow we play the Grizzlies at home? And it's our the tip off to Black History Month because they, always honor Black history during February at Bucks games. And tomorrow's game is our Black Excellence Night presented by Hennessy.
Boom. Hey, Hennessy know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Good, good marketing.
That's right. Anything can happen, okay?
You know about the Popeyes sandwich?
Yes.
It's Popeyes with Don Julio?
I sure do. I saw that. So shout out to Don as well. That's smart. It's very smart. But yeah, no. Happy February 1st. Happy Black History Month. It's February 1st today. You won't be watching this on February 1st. We'll be a few days in at that point. But something I do want to also acknowledge, when this does air, it'll be 1 week removed from the horrific plane crash that happened in Washington with it was a helicopter. It was an Army training helicopter with a commercial jet, passenger jet. They crashed when they were less than a minute, as in the passenger jet was less than a minute away from landing. There were kids on board, a bunch of kids who had been at a figure skating camp in Wichita, Kansas. So it was on its way from Kansas to Washington, D.C., which, by the way, is some of the most protected airspace in the world. So the fact that this even happened and we don't...
Some people raising eyebrows.
I know. So, Jason, I am the type of person, if I know that there were, human casualties, I can't watch. I haven't watched the crash. However, to your point, a lot of different angles, and there was one video that CNN put up that was the clearest angle yet, they said, and I read the comments, and they said it looked intentional. It said it looked intentional that the Army helicopter crashed into it. Because I heard a little bit of the dialogue that had happened before the crash, and they were asking them if they saw the commercial plane, and they said, yeah, we see it. And then next thing you know, it hits it. So I can't comment on that. I have not watched the video, but what are your thoughts?
Listen, it looked weird.
Does it look weird?
Whenever stuff like this happen and people start claiming that it's a setup, in my head, I just think, what's the payoff? What?
Right.
Why? Who would benefit from this plane with all of these innocent people?
Right.
Who benefits from it? So that's the only reason why I don't know if it's anything, a conspiracy or anything, because I don't know who wins at the end of the day if it was a conspiracy.
Well, I know that there were 3 servicemen on board the helicopter, one that has not been named yet as of this recording because his family doesn't want him named. I read that. Yeah. And I'm not, and they don't know who was flying yet. At least they haven't told us publicly who was flying the helicopter yet, so we don't know. My mom told me that it looked like it could have been an intentional potential suicide. So that's what a lot of people are saying. And she told me that she's been reading a lot about it online. That's what a lot of the comments are saying. And again, I did not watch the video. I don't have any comments about that because I haven't seen it. I'm not going to talk about something I don't know. But it is troubling to me that happened, especially when they were so close to landing. And it's just scary and sad. Every day is so precious. And we know that already. I think we're given reminders of that more often than we realize, but something like that is such a huge reminder of how precious life is. Like, we're not in control. And then one thing more I want to say, well, actually two, because I want to give my condolences, my thoughts, my prayers to everyone involved, everyone affected, their loved ones. I mean, really our entire nation, because I think everybody was a little affected. It was jarring. It was the worst aviation accident that we've had in the States since 2001. Because I don't know if you know this, but there was a really bad plane crash 2 months after 9/11. So 9/11 obviously was the most devastating, but then only 2, 3 months later, there was another crash. It was bad. Yeah. So since that particular plane crash, this is the worst one since then. So it's been over 2 decades. But I want to give my thoughts, prayers, condolences to all of, everyone's loved ones and everyone who was unfortunately touched by that situation, because there are no words that can express just the sorrow and the sadness that comes with that. That being said, though, you and I talk about this a lot, as in, like, just giving everything to the universe, giving it to God. And I saw this video of, because this was, I believe, American Airlines. And I saw this video earlier today of an American Airlines pilot talking to all of the passengers on a plane that was about to take off. Somebody recorded it, and it was on TikTok. And he was basically saying, I know, in light of everything that's happened, I can only imagine how afraid you all are, and I get that. But just know that myself, my captain, the flight attendants, it is our duty, it is our obligation to get you where you're going safely. And we will hold true to that. We will do the best of our ability to do so. We hope you're able to relax and know that you're in good hands. And it made me emotional, because I thought that was so generous, so sweet of him to say that. I've flown since then. I took a commercial flight since Wednesday, since this all happened. And I'm not saying every pilot needs to say this, but I thought it was great that he went out of his way to put people at ease, because it's a very uneasy situation. I used to have a fear of flying, but I got over it because I was able to accept the fact that God's will be, no matter what. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, because whatever's meant to be, I personally do think it's going to happen no matter what. And so you just gotta give it to him and know that you are covered and protected. And whenever that day does come, I do believe that day is inevitable. So why live in fear? You know what I mean? And I know it's easier said than done at times, because it can be very terrifying to put your life in somebody else's hands. But if you think about it, we do that all the time when we're on the road, when we drive. We don't know these people around us. Anything can happen at any given moment. So I just pray that, you all are able to find peace within yourself in the idea that we're only in control of so much, so just try to enjoy life to the fullest. But of course, be safe, be cautious, be aware of your surroundings, because we don't know what other people are doing or thinking. You know what I'm saying?
No, without question. And to go like with the fear of flying, because I know right after that, I'm like, oh man, it's probably gonna be a minute before I hop on a plane. But then it's like, when you really sit back and think about it, the studies already came out. It's actually safer to be on a plane than it is a car.
It is.
And I don't hesitate getting in my car, and not one bit. Like, I'm going right in my car after. You feel me?
Yep.
So I think that understanding that, and I think because once these situations happen, because they so big in our head, we kind of exaggerate it and like, oh my goodness.
Of course.
It's not a comment. Like, this is actually an anomaly. So I think that kind of put my mind more at ease. Like, listen, this barely ever happens. It happened, but actually being on a plane is safer than being in a car.
Well, and like I said, this is the worst aviation accident in 2 decades. So think about how often something like this just doesn't happen. And I think, well, obviously because of the lives lost, but I also think the reason why it is getting so much attention is because the manner in which it happened. So yeah, again, to your point, this is such an anomaly. It's not something that occurs often at all. So yeah, I'm glad you were, able to, kind of shift your mindset in that regard, because that's not easy, Jason. That's hard. Like, for real. I don't blame anybody for having any fear of really doing anything, but I hope that you're able to get past that fear, because life is too short to live in fear. You know what I mean?
And it's like every day is a risk.
Exactly.
Like, every single thing we do is a risk. Like, honestly, I don't want to be all scare people, but going to a grocery store, going anywhere, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what these people could do.
We here at 3rd Street, it's packed. It's juking. You feel me? And walking into a big crowd of people that you don't know is a risk. It's always a risk. You're right.
So, like, that's why we can't just attach ourselves to these incidents that happen and live through that. We got to understand, listen, it's life. We got to just live, and whatever gonna happen regardless. You can't stop it.
And you know what? Sometimes you can't stop your friend from shooting at you either.
Okay, that's
a
very true
transition.
too.
Just kidding.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. And for the record, this is also an anomaly, I hope, because Jason, I can honestly say right now, I don't have a single friend that has shot a friend. Do you?
I don't even that thought can't even begin to process in my head.
No, because why are you shooting your friend? Like, allegedly.
I hope not.
I hope
but
not.
come
Like,
on.
are you kidding me? We're talking about ASAP Rocky, y'all. And today we want to talk about the idea of fame and the law and how above these celebrities should be when it comes to the law and whether or not they should be made an example of. Or is it, as simple as in this instance, if this person wasn't famous and this occurred, would it even be as big of a deal as it has become? So there's a few different ways we can go with this, but the moral of the story is ASAP Rocky, who is with Rihanna. I don't think they're married. Are they married?
They are by common law.
Yeah, they're
say.
common law
So,
married. There you
some
go.
states recognize it.
No,
common
for real.
Law marriage.
There
so.
it is. Common law married. They have two beautiful sons. But before those babies came into the picture, ASAP Rocky allegedly shot his friend ASAP Relly. So his former friend and accuser, Terrell Efron is his real name, he testified last week in court telling jurors that he and ASAP Rocky, whose real name is Rakeem Myers, met outside a hotel in LA in November of 2021. He said that the rapper pulled a gun on him during an argument, pointed down, and shot the first shot, after which Relly felt his hand get hot, saying that a bullet grazed his left hand. So a lot of things are being thrown out here because there are lawyers and such that are alleging that this guy is basically bringing this even into the public sphere because of jealousy, lies, and greed, alleging that he fabricated parts of his claims for money, i.e., he's trying to get paid, And I think that essentially he's saying, we could have handled this without the lawyers involved, but because you didn't call my bluff, guess we're going to take this all the way to trial. And again, this happened a few years ago. In fact, it happened in 2021, as I mentioned before. He was actually arrested in April of 2022. And again, the shooting incident was November 21. He was arrested in April 22. So it took some time for this to even become a thing. When Jason and I were talking about it before the show started, he actually told me that he doesn't remember hearing about this. I remember hearing about it. I remember it being kind of thrown under the radar. I didn't hear about it when it happened. I heard about it when he was arrested. Because when they arrested him, it was like, the heck y'all arrested ASAP Rocky for? What did he do? You know what I mean? And then they started saying, oh, he shot someone back in November. And I remember even questioning at that time, why did it take until April for this to even become a thing?
That's a full year.
It's almost a year. I mean, come on. So, yeah, he was, oh my gosh, and this is exactly why I remember it. So he was arrested when he was coming back from Barbados with Rihanna. And that's why I remember this story so clearly, because they were on a little family vacay visiting her hometown, and they arrested him when they landed at LAX.
That kind of sound familiar.
Yeah, it was big when it happened. But again, the actual shooting itself, we didn't know about that until he was arrested, some months later. And so a judge determined in November of 2023, so this is 2 years after the shooting, about a year and a half after he was arrested, they determined that there was enough evidence for him to stand trial. And his trial was initially set for October, but it was pushed to January, and it now has officially begun. And Rihanna has been at court basically, supporting him. And the photo that they drew of her is gorgeous, honey. I need that framed. But I want to know, do you feel as if this is something where, okay, people get into arguments, people get into disputes, it happens. Nobody died. And his friend took a long time to, bring it to the attention of the law, allegedly, because he was basically trying to blackmail ASAP Rocky. He was basically trying to say, I won't tell anyone you shot me, but you got to pay. And Rocky didn't want to pay. And so eventually he, unfortunately, was charged for that assault. And again, he was basically they ambushed him, right? He was on vacation. He had no idea that this was going to happen. And then they said, did I say ambushed? I meant ambush.
Ambush, yeah.
So I was thinking bamboozled and ambush. But now I'm going to continue with that, ambushed. No, they bamboozled him completely because he had no idea. It like kind of came out of nowhere. Like him and Rihanna, they were happy and smiling and get off the plane at LAX. And then all of a sudden, these cops came and they arrested him, right? And so I want to know, if an incident like this happens to a celebrity, do you think that celebrity needs to be made an example of? And the reason why I ask is because, unfortunately, stuff like this happens all the time. I don't think friends shoot friends all the time, but I think that arguments happen often where there is gunfire. Oftentimes, there is an injury of some sort. They say he only raised his hand. They said it wasn't like a big injury, but it was the fact that it happened at all. And now, of course, they're trying to charge him with assault with a semi-automatic firearm, 2 felony charges, that is, and he turned down a plea deal because he thinks that he's going to be able to get off and basically prove that this didn't happen. How do you feel about this particular celebrity being involved in this type of case? Do you think that it's possible for him to get off? And do you think that the law will maybe try to make an example out of him? Because I'm sorry, but if a rapper is shooting another rapper or friend or whoever he was to you at the time, I don't think that it bodes well with just like the messaging around rap and hip hop, especially right now with the Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, the et ceteras that are still happening. I'm curious, what are your initial thoughts in hearing about this case?
Well, at first I was shocked because I'm like, what in the world? This A$AP Rocky?
He seems so chill.
A$AP? What's going on right now?
Right.
But no, I think that didn't they say he shot at the floor?
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's why they're saying it could have been an accident. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and basically A$AP Rocky is saying, you're going to have to prove that I actually tried to shoot at you.
and that's going to be tough to do. That's why, because he turned down, the plea was 180 days in jail.
Right.
That's all he would have had to done. Now he's facing 80 years. So I think that he's fairly confident that he's going to get off because, bro, he shot at the floor. I mean, it may be a little bit of collateral damage. He may have, I could understand where A$AP really coming from. But this seemed more like extortion to me. This seemed more like you said, like blackmail because it happened, you talking about in 2021. You don't say something until 2022, and now it's 2025. And you just finally get into the, man. So I don't know. I do think A$AP go get off.
You do.
Well, I was telling you before, this kind of reminded me of the Gunna and Thug situation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
With everybody was claiming like Gunna snitched on Thug, and then we thought Gunna and Thug was cool, but then turns out they not cool. That's a whole nother situation. Right. But these two were A$AP Rocky and A$AP Rocky. I don't think the law care about whether or not they were friends. Like, I get the moral aspect of it, and I understand that point. But the law don't care about them being friends. We got to just look at the facts. And the facts is he did shoot at the floor. If he tried to intentionally shoot at a friend, that don't matter. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, if he intentionally tried to shoot, that matters. But you will never be able to prove whether or not he intentionally shot at him because he shot at the floor.
Right.
And I don't think he should be made an example of, because I don't think we should make examples out of just celebrities just because they more famous than everybody. At the end of the day, he is just a normal man. Right. So I don't think we should make an example and give him a harsher punishment just because he's more well known. I don't think that.
Right. No, I agree with you. The only reason why I don't know, it made me think twice about this one because, again, just like with the content that you hear in rap and hip hop, and I hate the idea of, let's say if he did it. I hate the idea of him getting off because then, I'm sorry, I mean, there's going to be a song about this. There's going to be a song about it. The baby shot somebody in Walmart and he made a song about it, you know?
And it's double jeopardy, so I mean, they can't retry him for this case.
You feel me? So that's my only thing. I'm like, you're a father, you got kids, and hello, kids listen to your music still. Like, I don't love the idea of basically, somebody being like, oh, well, A$AP Rocky did it and got away with it. Maybe I can't. Because kids think that way. You know what I'm saying? But that's if he did it. I don't want this to be true. I want to be very clear about that. But Jason, there's a plot twist because, as you mentioned, he did turn down that plea deal. Now, what I'm reading in different sources, it says he faces up to 24 years in prison. You saw 80? Jeez, that's a lot. Either way, he faces some years because he rejected that plea deal. But what his lawyer was saying, he argued that he actually wasn't even carrying a real gun. He said that it was a prop gun that he got from a music video set that is incapable of firing real bullets. And he argued that prosecutors lack evidence, including fingerprints and the gun from the alleged assault. But, of course, they're not going to have it. But anyway, on the first day of trial, they also played surveillance footage that shows A$AP Rocky drawing a gun. But then they played a separate clip that captures sound that appears to be gunshots. But neither clip directly captured the alleged shooting. So they don't have video of the actual shooting. They have a video of him drawing a gun, which his lawyer is saying was a prop gun from a music video. And then they have a video that has the sounds of a gun popping, but there's nothing that is showing the shooting.
Hey, I strongly believe that, he will be walking away. Because without proof, without evidence, how are you able to prove it? Like, who's to say he didn't have a prop gun? Who's to say that? We don't know. So I think it's too much confusion.
Right. Now, A$AP Relly and A$AP Rocky, no, it is not a coincidence. Yes, they are from the same A$AP mob group. And it's funny because when Jason and I were talking about it, it's like, who is A$AP Relly? And I remember when there were a bunch of A$APs running around. I just didn't listen to A$AP Mob. Like, I was only ever really drawn to A$AP Ferg, actually. I really like Ferg, and then Rocky. But no one, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know none of them A$APs.
And that's okay, because they, you know what? Their time is coming past. But I think A$AP Rocky will always be relevant. A, because of Rihanna, let's be honest. And B, because he's a fashion killer. This man be at all the fashion weeks. And that's why it's so weird, because A$AP Rocky, like, okay, I'm not trying to be superficial here, so forgive me, but he's just like a beautiful chocolate man that I thought just be chilling. Like, he's so handsome, and he's so into fashion, and he got Rihanna to settle down and have babies. Like, I'm like, why are you shooting people, dog?
Now, you can't judge a book by its cover, though, man.
Facts,
Come on
facts.
now.
No, you
they
can't.
thought Ted Bundy was a nice guy.
Oh, my God. He was on dating shows and all types of things. You're right. But the thing about it is, do you feel, because Jason said that he thinks based on the lack of evidence, I should say, but then based on the facts, Jason is telling me that he feels like A$AP Rocky will get off. But my question to y'all, let's say he does get off, is it because he's a celebrity? Is it because of the facts that are in regards to the case? I want to know, do you think that celebrities get off easier, or does their fame make them a bigger target? Because as I mentioned when we first started this conversation, do we think that the judge is maybe going to try to make an example out of A$AP Rocky? You know what I mean? Because sure, this incident, no one died, again. No one was seriously injured, but it was the fact that he had the firearm, the fact that he allegedly fired the firearm, and of course that is assault, and the fact that his friend told on him. I mean, listen, he went to the feds and he said, this man shot me. He needs to be locked up. And I know that his lawyer is saying, it's extortion, as you mentioned, blackmail, like it's jealousy, all these different types of things. But the judge may still look at this as a perfect way to set an example because of the different issues that we have around the country when it comes to guns and when it comes to, just crime in general that they say stems from what the kids are hearing in music. And I personally don't think it's at that level the way it used to be. But I might be naive in saying that, Jason, because I like to believe that people at this point with social media and with us just like knowing celebrities on a different level, I'd like to think that kids understand that a lot of what they hear is just entertainment, but they're still kids. That's me in my adult brain wanting to believe that kids know it's just entertainment. The reality is they don't. Because when I was a kid,
this is so crazy because I was just having this conversation with my friends yesterday.
Oh, come on.
Because we were saying, I told them how we don't view celebrities the same anymore, as in like how me and my friends looked at, for example, like NBA players, LeBron and KD and Kobe. These dudes was like giants. We put these dudes, they near past human level. Like, are they even human? Like, I'm thinking like of The Rock, because I used to love, I still like wrestling, but just loving wrestling, The Rock, and then all these. Now we look at these celebrities, and I was telling them how we view them as normal people, but they reminded me, kids, however, look at streamers like Kai and like these other celebrities. They view them the same way still. We were talking from our brain right now, not placing us in our shoes when we were just 10, 11 years old.
Correct.
They still think 10, 11-year-olds think Kai and all of these rappers and stuff are like past human superstars.
Yeah.
So I think that we understand that. I don't know if the kids get it yet.
No, I agree with you. And thank you for saying that. And I love that you and your friends talk about that kind of stuff because it's true. And it's a good reminder for us as adults to like just basically like tell ourselves like what kids are seeing us do. They hold on to that and they're going to believe what they see. You know, I mean, think about it as an adult. Like I'm still learning that I can't judge a book by its cover, like you said earlier. But like literally you can't judge a book by its cover because I can't tell you how many people I've like come across in my life where I'm like, oh, they seem rude or mean or whatever. And then comes to find out they're like socially awkward and they just don't know how to talk to people.
They're really the nicest people ever.
Nicest people ever. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's my adult brain again, but I'm still learning that. And so to that point, I could definitely see an example being made out of because these kids are affected by what they read and what they hear and what they see. And unfortunately, if he gets off, I could see it becoming he got off. Like he was able to shoot somebody and he walked away scot-free. So let me go see if it could work out for me. And I'm not saying like kids like plot in that way, but I'm saying when they're like they put themselves in a situation basically. And then it's kind of like, well, other people got away with this, so I'll probably be fine. And it's like, no, you won't be fine because I do think that celebrities are tried differently than us normies out here walking around. And I do think that money, I think that fame, I think that power is extremely influential. And this happened in LA. I could see if this happened in, Timbuktu, Minnesota, you know what I'm saying? But like this happened in LA where celebrities are in and out of those swivel, courthouse doors. You know what I'm saying? It's a celebrity on Monday and then a celebrity back there on Tuesday. And my point is, I do think that they are just tried differently. I really do. And Rihanna was there. You think that judge gonna say he's guilty with Rihanna in the audience? Okay.
Not looking at Rihanna.
Not looking at Rihanna.
Are you kidding me?
Come on.
I'm not even thinking straight looking at Rihanna.
Just saying. And I'm not trying to make light of it, but I'm being serious. I'm being really serious. I really do think LA is different.
It's different. And you got to think the ASAP lawyer, come on now, his wife a billionaire. He probably got the best lawyer money can buy.
Okay, what? And then some. Why do you think we hold celebrities to a different standard, though? Because I feel like the standard I hold them to is you're public, therefore you need to understand your audience, and I think that you should be a good role model. I'm naive, but I like to say that because to me, if you have that type of platform, you got kids watching you. I'm sorry, but please, for the love of God, you can change the world in ways that a lot of people can't. So like, let's do it right. You know what I mean? Like that's how I look at them. That's the standard I hold them to. But I know it's unrealistic because everybody is entertaining a different crowd. And I don't think, let's just say majority of the celebrities are thinking about their, their child fans, I should say. You know what I mean? The fans that are under the age of 18. I don't think they're necessarily thinking twice about that. Even the ones whose material is targeted toward them. I still think, you see somebody making YouTube videos for kids and then you go on their Instagram and it's giving only fans. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
For real, though.
Like, that's really what it is. So I don't know if everyone's thinking about that target audience that is, minors. But why do you think we hold them to a different standard?
I think that I think we should hold them to a higher standard because, and not like viewing, oh, they're better than us. No, not like that, but just to a higher standard. Simply because, like you said, they have influence. And with influence comes power. Yep. And with power comes responsibility. Like, that's just what it is. So when you have that power, for real though, it's
true.
Real.
No,
like,
it's true.
Once you have that influence, you have the ability to dictate mindsets.
Exactly.
You have the ability to control how people think, how people act, how people react to situations, like how they whole brain process, especially with the kids, the brain formation of the kids.
Yep.
You have something to do with that because you're influencing that. So I do think that we should hold them to a higher standard because they need to be people who do set an example, a positive example of how, you should live. But like Charles Barkley said, it's tough to put them in that situation because Charles Barkley, he was famous for saying, I ain't nobody role model. He said, I just play basketball. I never signed up to be Lil Wayne. It's crazy because Lil Wayne said that. That made me mad because Lil Wayne, you know how influential you are. But he talked about, no, I'm not a role model. I just out here, I'm living my life.
Yeah.
He said, I'm only a role model to my kids and stuff like that. But he was younger when he said that. I'm sure his mind changed. But yeah, so I think we do hold them to a higher level because they have the influence, and with that influence, they have power, and with power comes responsibility.
For sure, Spider-Man.
For real though.
Thank you, Peter Parker. So, hot take. Do you think, though, to Charles Barkley and Wayne's point, do you think that they should have to be role models just because, I mean, sure, they're public figures, but what if it's not what they signed up for? Like, I will admit, Jason, I do think that now in this social media era, I'm sorry, but if you choose to put your life on social media and you're a public figure, as in like an athlete or a movie star or a rapper, singer, whatever it may be, I do think there's a responsibility that comes with that. But for the Charles Barkleys of the world, they didn't have social media. And technically, I would argue that most of them, yeah, they went to the league because they were in love with basketball or they needed to pay their bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it was to be famous. Maybe some of them, but I think in his era, majority of them, it was about playing ball and feeding their family. I don't think the fame in the money, but that's feeding the family. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that their like idea of fame was the same as what we get now. Because let's be real honest here. No disrespect to the young hoopers, because I love y'all. I love y'all energy. I love the way y'all changing the league. But y'all be on TikTok at halftime. And no, just kidding, not at halftime. But like
sometimes,
you know what I mean? They're on TikTok as soon as the game's over. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them grew up in the social media era where they learned a lot of their skills from YouTube. And like, you know what I mean? Like, my point is they were so immersed in that. And now they're in the league and they have those platforms and more, and they've got all these endorsements. I do feel like now, if you're a famous person in 2025, you do have a responsibility to act right because kids are watching. Whereas Charles Barkley, his era, Jason, the only reason why we knew what these people sounded like was because of their post-game interviews or if they were on a Wheaties commercial. You know what I'm saying?
That's so crazy.
Isn't that crazy? But now I know how everybody talk because that's all they do is talk. Everybody got a podcast or everybody's doing interviews or, doing TikToks or they're doing lives on their Instagram. So, yeah, I think if you put yourself out there, you do have a responsibility. But you know who doesn't? Nikola Jokic, because that man ain't nowhere to be found on social media. He is off in the wilderness riding his horse peacefully, okay?
Chilling. Come on now, with his championship and his MVP.
You feel me? He'll drop 30, 10, and 10 on you and then go back to the Netherlands. No, I'm just kidding. He's not from there. But, he'll go back somewhere where horses are free and he'll just go ride a horse into the horizon. So, like, someone like that, I honestly wouldn't put that pressure on him because he chooses to live a private life. But if you're a celebrity that chooses to live a public life, that's my hot take. I think that you do have a responsibility. So Charles Barkley, if you're on social media now, sorry, but yeah, you're a role model. No, you didn't choose that life when you were playing basketball, but you chose it now. So you got to live in that. And I feel like people want to have their cake and eat it too. You can't do that. I'm sorry. There are kids watching. And whether you like it or not, you chose to be famous. You did. You chose a certain career path that you knew was probably going to make you famous. I think that there's a responsibility that comes with that level of fame because, like you said, you can change things. I think that these celebrities can change the world. They make things trendy. You know what I mean? They change what body types are in trend. Like, I'm sorry. Who are you? Really? There's a doctor who lives in Miami that's telling me what's the cute body? No, but also discount. But like real talk though, it's so interesting how these people, they try to say I'm not a role model. I didn't sign up for that, and I don't know.
But you did sign up
for
it.
But you did because everything is public now.
You signed up for it. You knew exactly what you were getting yourself into. So I don't want to hear that. That's in the when you set your mind to becoming a popular figure,
right.
You know what you set your mind to. You know what's in the contract. And in the contract is influence and power. So you got to live up to it.
But what do you think about my example of Nikola Jokic? Like, what if they're not on social media, but they are in a public, position?
See, it's different because he's not doing anything to negatively affect anything. You feel
Fair.
what I'm saying?
Fair.
He's not doing nothing.
Fair.
So I guess the whole point of it is when you bring up the role model is really when somebody's out there doing crazy stuff and having a negative influence on the kids. If you're not doing absolutely nothing, you all good.
Right, we're good. We're chilling.
You got a role model because you're not doing nothing. You're not influencing nothing. You just going to work and going home.
Right.
It's more so for the vocal athletes who come out and they try to make their presence known. If you're going to do that,
right,
and then you negatively affecting the kids, that's a problem. So if you go be public about everything and be vocal, now you have that responsibility because now you have the power of influence.
Well, I want to know, do you think that celebrities are unfairly judged because they're celebrities? And Jason, he gave some really good examples of just like different celebrity trials, Michael Jackson, Tory Lanez, Young Thug. Do you think that they are judged in a different way because of their celebrity? Because I personally think that Michael Jackson is so tough because I still don't believe he molested those children. And I say that with all due respect. The reason why I don't believe it is because I personally believe that he just was stuck in a child's place mentally. And I think that, maybe sleeping in the same bed as a kid was too far. Not maybe, it was too far. I would never sleep in the same bed with a child that's not mine. Never.
Not at 40 years old.
Not
And I
at
love
40.
Mike, but come on.
No, I was a dance teacher for years and I never slept in the same bed as a student. Like when we would go on the road and go to dance competitions and have to sleep in a hotel, I never slept in the same. Like I think that's weird. Sorry. No offense to dance teachers that do it. I think it's weird. Anyway, but I think that Mike, I do think that he was judged unfairly because of, his celebrity status. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And I can't help but wonder if he did things to cross the line. You know what I'm saying? Because there were multiple trials. It wasn't just one. But regardless of that, Tory Lanez, I actually think that he got way too much support because I think he did do it. That's just my personal opinion.
I mean, he got found guilty of it.
He was found guilty, but I'm talking about the public perception and the way that people so passionately wanted to protect this Canadian man over Meg. Like, are you kidding me? I think a lot of people forgot he was Canadian. Like, let
I ain't
them.
gonna lie, man. Until you just said that, it probably slipped my mind.
Exactly. So I need all y'all to remember, Tory Lanez is Canadian.
We don't mess with Canada no more. Well, we mess with Canada, but we gotta, it's a little beef right now.
It's a little America versus Canada right now. No, just kidding. Shout out to Drake, though. That's his fault, y'all.
It's Drake's fault.
Blame Aubrey. We didn't do this. He did this. But no, honestly, so like that, and then, well, Thugga, I don't have any comment on that. I can't comment. But as far as the others go, Jason, do you think that they are unfairly judged because they are celebrities?
Without question. I
Yeah.
mean, when you hold to a higher standard, they stuff is on TV.
Right.
Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like
Right.
a normal trial, and they chilling, nobody even know about it. Every single detail is being broadcast. That every little detail is you gonna get notifications from every social media app, from every news article on all the tabloids and magazines. You gonna see it. So I think they are. And when it comes to the jury and all of that, when you dealing with somebody like Michael Jackson, how can you stay unbiased with something? Because you got to pick a jury who don't know nothing about the case. Get out of here, bro.
Y'all better fly in somebody from.
So say all of those people were Michael Jackson fans. Of course they was gonna vote him. Not guilty. Even though FBI had a whole 30-year investigation and it literally just concluded they found no evidence. So
Right.
But it's not fair because they are known, so people might already have like preconceived feelings about the case or know stuff about the case already going into it.
Right. No, that's facts. Well, and it's so easy for us as an audience to immerse ourselves in these different celebrity like trials and whatnot because it feels like entertainment, but it's also people's lives. You know what I'm saying?
Real life,
It's
but
real.
they put it on TV like
Exactly.
it's a show, like it's a TV show. We forget that this is somebody's life on the line right now.
Well, the O.J. Simpson trial, people literally say it felt like reality TV. They said they were glued to their TV sets when that was happening. And I definitely want to hear your opinion on that. But before we get there, Truth Nation, immerse yourself in everything that our great city has to offer, from concerts to museums and plays to concerts. Oh, back to concerts again. Milwaukee has so much to offer, and there's only one place to find everything great that's happening here in our city. You got to go to visitmilwaukee.org. Visit Milwaukee is your true one-stop information site. I'm serious. I also follow them on IG for all the local happenings around our city. So whether you're looking for a cool new restaurant or a place to host your event, Visit Milwaukee has you covered. Again, go to visitmilwaukee.org. Visit Milwaukee, handcrafted, homegrown, world class. But also, speaking of visiting Milwaukee, we all need a little staycation in our lives, and I'm thrilled to tell you that they can help you do exactly that. Visit Milwaukee is launching their annual Hotel Month campaign. It offers travelers and staycationers a stellar deal at area hotels. So go to visitmilwaukee.org to find the over 24 hotels throughout the area that are offering discounts from 15 to 25% off the daily room rate. Act fast because the discount ends Wednesday, February 12th. So a week from this recording, it will be ending. For more information, visit visitmilwaukee.org. Visit Milwaukee, handcrafted, homegrown, world class. I know in my heart of hearts that OJ would not have gotten away with it if he wasn't OJ Simpson.
No, I seen the document. I seen all the stuff, all the biopics and the limited series.
Yeah, that limited series is so good.
Oh, they so good.
I still rewatch
but that
it.
leads me to doing my own research
Right.
more about it.
Right.
So I do believe that he would not have got off. Like, come on now. And I think we all know that by now. If we really watched anything to do with OJ, I think we all know that everybody was so enamored by OJ.
Just so weird.
He would not have gotten off.
No.
Especially if it was nowadays.
Right.
People would have saw right through all that.
Well, and then two other factors, the Rodney King trial situation that happened just a few years prior to that. And then also where he allegedly murdered Nicole Brown Simpson. The court, I think that it was supposed to be like out in the burbs, like maybe in Beverly Hills. I forget what courthouse it was, but they weren't supposed to be in downtown LA. But it was under construction. So they moved it to downtown LA. And then the jury ended up being predominantly black, or predominantly, I should say, non-white, because there were other people of color there and like not even a handful of white jurors. My point in saying that, I think if he would have been tried where it happened, they may or may not have found him guilty, but I still do believe he probably would have gotten a much lesser sentencing or a lesser charge because he's OJ. But to your point, he got off, and it's because he's OJ. Like, that's no question, without a doubt. But do you, because he never killed anyone again that we know of.
That we know of.
Do you think that it's fair to give celebrities a second chance because we know how much good they do in the world and bring to the world? Like, I guess, why do you think celebrities are afforded an opportunity to get a do-over, an opportunity to erase it, like how Trump let go of all those January 6th, what is it called? Pardoned. He pardoned all the January 6th, which those people are not celebrities. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that, you know, there are celebrities that do get pardoned or, you know, that don't end up being found guilty. Why do you think that is? Like, is it because we think we know them and we idolize them and we know they would never do it again? Like, honestly, Jason, because I can't wrap my mind around it, because it's like if you're capable of doing it once, you're capable of doing it again. I don't care if you're a public figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this go back to us viewing celebrities as if they are better than the rest of humans, as if they surpass or supersede humanity. Like, because we put them in this light, and they have this aura about them to like where they like, come on now, like we feel like we know them. Or for example, like OJ. Come on now, you know OJ wouldn't do that. We sit there and we'll be talking to our friends or our peers about these celebrities
acting
like we
you know
them.
him.
I find myself doing that about whenever LeBron, some negative, not no real negative stuff, but whenever some controversy about LeBron come out, come on now, you really think LeBron? Come on. I'm sitting here talking like I know LeBron. LeBron don't know me at all. So, or Mike, I'm like, come on, you think Mike don't know I exist. So I think that circles around all these celebrities, and we just look at them as higher than humans.
You're right. And a lot of these people are actors. They be acting in front of our faces, dog.
And they have to. Like, first off, they are in the public. They not finna show us the real them. When they step outside, they showing us their character.
Correct. I agree. I do that. We all do that.
That's life.
We all do that. That is life. You're right. Like, hello. Do you talk to your friends the same way you talk to your grandma? Probably not. I'm just saying. Like, come on now. So I could not agree more. I think we do tend to think we know these celebrities, knowing dang well what we know is such a fraction, such a tiny percentage.
We know what they want us to know, and then the negative stuff, that's like, come on, that is
bang bang. That's
barely
it.
Believe it.
Wait, that's probably too soon. But like, sorry. No, but like, you're right. Ding, ding. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, that is exactly it. We think we know these people and we don't. And that's where it's like the law and the order of it all. Like, that's where we got to try to stick to it. But it's hard for them to do that. Because it's like, so you're going to judge this normal civilian who you don't know by the law. But then when it comes to the celebrity who you also don't know, but you think you know, but because they're a celebrity, all of a sudden the law don't matter. Make it make sense. So yeah, I don't want anybody to get in trouble. Jason, if we're being very honest, I think that if everyone got in trouble for their misgivings, for their wrongdoings, I don't think there would be a Hollywood. I don't think there would be a music industry. I think we would have to start over. It's giving the class of 2045 would have to, make waves, because I literally think that everyone has a skeleton in their closet. I'm sorry. Because this is so random. Going back to the ASAP Rocky of it all, it's so random. Like, dog, are you kidding me? You're doing fine. Like, why did you shoot this man allegedly? Like, why would you even put yourself in that situation? But Jason, we don't know how we're going to react when we're in certain situations. That's why it's so important to just surround yourself with good people that won't put you in that place. I'm going to say that. I think that's the best way to put it. I don't know what was going on with their friendship. It says they were friends since high school. I'm not best friends with any of my high school friends anymore. I'm just not, because we've grown our separate ways. Still love and adore them. When I meet up with them, it's all love. I love them a lot. I don't hang out with them every single day because we don't have the same interests. There's nothing wrong with that, for the record, because I have high school friends that are still friends. But my point is, I try to surround myself with people who have the same energy as me, because I think that when you start to try to be around people who you think should be around you but maybe shouldn't, that's when you're put in situations like this. Like, don't even be around somebody that's going to bring you to a place that's not you, and that's going to potentially bring you down, or, pull your energy down or dim your light, whatever it is. Like, I think that they should have parted ways long before this, because, again, I don't know a single friend that has ever pulled a gun out on a friend. I don't know one friend. That's not a friend. You don't do that. You don't pull guns out on people.
I don't know a single soul.
No, you just don't do that. So yeah, I was going to say, you never know how you're going to react to a situation, but bump that. Just don't put yourself around people that are going to take you out of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow somebody to put you in a place that you don't normally belong in. I think at ASAP Rocky, I think he was spending time with somebody he shouldn't have been. And I think it brought him to this place. And it's really sad because it was right around the time when he, went public with Rihanna, when they started popping out those gorgeous Barbados-looking babies. Love them. And then he went to Barbados and he came back and he messed around and found out. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be careful who you surround yourself. It's really important that you don't share your energy with the wrong people, because that energy transfer is real. We talk about it all the time. It's real. That's it, you guys.
It's real for real.
That's it. Like, it's giving, period. No, but let us know in the comments what you think about this. Do you think ASAP Rocky is going to get off? Do you think that the judge, the jury, will they make an example out of him? How do you feel about celebrities getting off on certain cases, especially one like this where there's no evidence of the gun, there's no evidence of a video or anything of the shooting? He alleges that it was the gun from the video shoot. What do you think is going to happen? Maybe there'll be a house arrest. Maybe there'll be something where he can learn from this lesson. I think the lesson to be learned here is don't hang out with Relly anymore.
Hey, no, that's an important lesson that I'm pretty sure that he's taken from this.
Okay, he ain't seen Relly in years. No, well, he probably hadn't until this started. Let us know your thoughts, though. By the time this airs, it'll be a few days after we talked about this, so a lot may change between now and then. But regardless of if anything does change with this particular case, let us know what you think about celebrity cases in general and whether you think that they are judged fairly. Should they be judged more harshly than humans because they are public figures? Or do you think that we should all be judged equally? Never going to happen. But do you think we should all be judged equally? Let us know in the comments. Appreciate you, Jason, at the Jason Smith on Instagram. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you all. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, you all have a great rest of your week. Bye.